AU expects to give about 10,000 shots by the end of this week, the most ever, by about a margin of 4,000 doses. AU's working with Columbia and Richmond County schools to get teachers signed up, and they expect the majority of school staff who want a vaccine to be able to get one. Now, this all works because Thursday is a half day and Friday is a teacher work day. Already around 40% of their slots were full by noon today. And Dr. Joshua Weich, AU's vaccine coordinator, says there's more vaccine supply to work with than ever before.
I have children in Columbia County schools, and I'm excited that my children's teachers are going to have access to this. We have continued to have discussions with the state on how we can better use Washington Square location to vaccinate the most individuals possible.
Now, AU Health says they're very comfortable with running about 300 people an hour through the vaccination clinic at Washington Square, which means about 2,500 people each day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, who will have a chance to get their vaccinations at that Washington Square clinic. Of course, that means thousands of teachers. And coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we spoke with one of them who's actually a teacher out in Evans. You'll hear from her right then.
That's a lot of square footage dedicated to the vaccine. Brady, thanks very much for the live update there from Barton Chapel Road. So if you're looking to get vaccinated, there are a few more clinics happening this week. 2 are happening tomorrow. In fact, one at the Bessie Thomas Senior Center in Columbia County, the other across the river, the Palmetto Shooting Complex Pavilion in Edgefield. Thursday, AU Health hosting a couple of clinics, one in Hepzibah, one in Augusta at their Washington Square location. And as Brady mentioned, they'll also be holding vaccine clinics at their Washington Square site Thursday and again on Friday. For that link to register and more details, head to our website or the WRDW app. Local clinics are posted there on our homepage.
We've done a lot of the homework for you. Taking a look outside, looking at Wildcats. All right, sounds good. Thank you, Riley. The search continues this afternoon for a missing teenager from Augusta. Take a good look. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding 15-year-old Alasia Scott. Deputies say she was last seen around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon near the Old Louisville Road area. We're told she is considered a habitual runaway. She is known to hang out around the East Boundary and Apple Valley areas. She was last seen wearing a black and white shirt, black pants, and colorful sneakers. If you have any information, please call the number on your screen, and if you can, share it on social media. It helps so much.
Yes, it does. New first at 5.
And have adopted our program because it's a national standard right now.
And along with creating a readiness plan, Duncan's office is also working to identify spots around the state that repetitively get wiped out by natural disasters. He says they're working to create a fund to buy back those properties and return them to their normal state.
An 18-year-old from Georgia will now be released from jail, and as he waits for his trial, he's connected to the U.S. Capitol riots. Bruno Kua is from Milton, Georgia. He is facing 12 federal charges in all in connection to the January 6th riot at the Capitol. He was denied bond back in February, but today a judge released him into the custody of his parents. He is under a list of conditions, though, including wearing a GPS device, not using social media, and not being allowed to leave his parents' house. His trial is expected to start in May.
In Florence, 3 Francis Marion University students arrested for hazing. The arrest warrants say the 3 hazed an underclassman as part of an initiation onto the school's baseball team. The 3 men are accused of breaking the player's jaw, and they're now all suspended. The news comes as universities nationwide are under fire again for recent hazing incidents. Over the weekend, an Ohio student at Bowling Green State University died as a result of hazing after being forced to drink too much at a party.
Over the last year, the pandemic has forced Americans to focus on where they live, how they live, and what that exactly looks like to their families.
Now, a major home improvement retailer is committing to more than $10 million to improve communities coast to coast. Dan Shinneman has details on how you can get involved right here at home.
A company dedicated to improving homes now wants to improve communities.
Might be a community center that needs revitalization, a garden, a block, something that has maybe fallen into disrepair, has been subject to from the many natural disasters we know.
Lowe's, the retail chain, is celebrating its centennial and is promising to spend $10 million on 100 neighborhood projects.
What better way to mark 100 years than to give back to 100 communities in the very country in which we were born?
Marissa Thalberg of Lowe's says anyone interested can apply online at lowes.com/100hometowns.
We're opening up applications, nominations now through April 19th. And then we're going to cull through them, and I just can't wait to hear some of the stories behind the whys. Why my town? Why my community? And we're going to do our best to pick.
Dahlberg says the projects come at a time when Americans need a sense of community.
2020 and now into 2021 has certainly been a reckoning of the importance of home, and we've recognized it in ways that I think are more profound than ever before. But when you think of home as a place beyond your own four walls and extending into your community,
The projects will start later in the summer or early fall. Dan Shenelman, NBC News.
So our job is to be thinking of local projects that could be nominated and maybe win support from Lowe's to improve these things.
Oh, I've already got a list running in my head. Some a little bigger undertaking than others. I don't think the Regency Mall is going to work on this one. I don't think Lowe's can handle that.
Maybe that's a little out of their reach.
Yeah, but we can think on a smaller scale. Think maybe expanding the Greenway or some of our parks and green spaces. That would be a great idea.
And they like the why. They want the story behind it. So be creative as you think of local projects.
Yeah, and if you're interested in nominating your hometown, applications are available on Lowe's website. We'll also put them on our website as well. And if you nominate somebody in a place, we want to see where and why and how. Let us know.
Hopefully we can follow this up. And good luck to us all in getting Lowe's involved. Riley?
Hey.
Plus, hidden treasure found at the bottom of the Savannah River. A closer look at these artifacts hidden away for centuries. Take a look at this. Artifacts up to 250 years old, discovered at the bottom of the Savannah River over on the coast. The Army Corps of Engineers found 3 cannons and a ship anchor dating back to the 1700s.
At first, researchers thought it might have come from the CSS Georgia, a ship that was used to defend the area during the Civil War. But now they believe that history goes back even further.
Maybe Revolutionary War period, but Sam Bowman is in Savannah for us with more on this discovery and what happens next.
This was an exciting find as we were doing regular maintenance dredging to ensure that the Savannah River stays navigable for some of the large ships that are coming in.
While clearing the way for ships of the future, they discovered pieces from a ship or ships of the past.
So this was very unexpected to recover these materials.
3 cannons, an anchor, and a piece of wood. Items they'd luckily uncovered due to precautions they had taken because of the area they were dredging.
The find was in the area where the CSS Georgia was recovered.
Although it was close, they're quick to dampen any possible connection.
But what we found when looking at the coordinates is that it was outside the area where we anticipated anything from the CSS Georgia.
Another difference? The age. Through measurements, they're able to place these cannons somewhere around the 1700s or pre-Civil War, putting it in a different time frame than the CSS Georgia, and leading them to widen their scope of investigation.
So we have already notified a foreign military.
The British, to be exact, as they ruled in this area during that time period. As for closer to home, dredging has stopped, and the Army Corps of Engineers are focused on preserving what they found while searching for more.
We hope that we find something down there that has integrity, that can tell more of the story or the history of the Savannah River. And of course, the 1700s, there was a lot going on in Savannah at that time. So it may just be a new part of the story that we're able to uncover.
I remember we're talking colonial Georgia here, so somebody let the Queen know we might have a couple of cannons here in Georgia that she might want back.
They might not work, though. A little rusty.
Just amazing that it was we would have never known had they not dredged up that part of the river, though. Buried deep down there for 2 centuries.
It really makes you wonder what else is there.
What else is down there?
What else is there?
Interesting stuff. Archaeologists say it might be months before we learn anything more about this latest discovery, but we're going to keep an eye on it for you.
Yeah, of course. I think that's...
Remember, we're talking colonial Georgia here, so somebody let the Queen know we might have a couple of cannons here in Georgia that she might want back.
They might not work, though. A little rusty.
Just amazing that it was we would have never known had they not dredged up that part of the river, though. Buried deep down there for 2 centuries.
It really makes you wonder what else is there.
What else is down there?
What else is there?
Interesting stuff. Archaeologists say it might be months before we learn anything more about this latest discovery, but we're going to keep an eye on it for you.
Yeah, of course. I think that stuff is so cool. Keep exploring.
Yeah, let's keep digging. All right, here's a look at downtown Augusta. Riley, the crowd. It has been a year of this, empty stadiums, but in a few weeks, baseball fans are going to be able to enjoy America's pastime in person.
You know, hope is everywhere, right? At least we can hope. After entire seasons without fans, or very few of them, many Major League stadiums are deciding to host at least a small crowd this year. And as Dan Shinneman reports, other sporting events are following suit.
After a baseball season filled with empty seats, at least some of those seats will be filled soon.
I'm excited for this season.
Chicago announced fans, 20% of capacity, will be able to watch the Cubs at Wrigley Field and the White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field. Masks and social distancing required.
It's a bit of normalcy now, so, as long as we get to see our boys play, I'll wear a mask.
Chicago is not alone. The majority of big league ballparks expect to have at least some fans in the stands this season. Crowds are already enjoying spring training games this month in Arizona and Florida.
Fans back in the stands. It's already been nice here in Arizona, just to hear the cheers and the heckling.
On the gridiron, Alabama already plans to fill its stadium this fall, and the International Olympic Committee will soon make a decision about attendance at this summer's Tokyo Games.
What I would say is the principle is obviously that, as we've said before, we want the games to be as close to as possible to an Olympic Games.
This new normal may feel almost normal. Dan Shinneman, NBC News.
It has been strange, and I'm ready to see the fans back. But it's been interesting on some NFL games to actually hear a lot of the players and to hear a lot of the golfers.
Sure. I mean, it has been a game changer, and the players actually had to learn how to adjust because they were so used to the crowd sound.
Live mics and absolute silence. Just strange.
Dangerous for some.
Dangerous for some. By the way, we checked in with our local universities. University of Georgia says it plans to have both a full campus and a full stadium this fall, but USC hasn't announced their plans yet, but the athletic department has said they're also hoping to make a return to a full stadium over at Williams-Brice as well.
I think a lot of the students, though, watching what happened at UGA, thinking a similar decision will come down in Columbia.
Maybe the whole SEC will act as one. We'll see.
It would be great to be back to normal, wouldn't it?
Shots in arms is what we like to say, right? While we wait to see if the guests will be allowed at the Olympics, we do know there will be no spectators later this month at the kickoff ceremony of the Olympic Torch Relay. Just an amazing event every time we see it, but it's set to start March 25th in Fukushima, Japan. Attendance now limited to participants and special guests only. Plans for the musical and cultural performances, they've all been scrapped.
Meanwhile, lawmakers from the Sunshine State are calling for organizers to cancel